Your memory deteriorates without this one habit. Start doing it as soon as possible. You might not notice it right away. At first, you forget where you put your glasses. Then, you can't recall your neighbor's name. Suddenly, it becomes difficult to hold on to a thought. And then comes the unsettling silence in your mind that's not so easy to navigate. And it all begins not with an illness, but with the absence of one simple daily habit that your brain, especially as you get older, gradually and steadily relies on to stay sharp. Does this sound familiar? You wake up in the morning, walk over to the stove, but forget why you're there. A familiar name is on the tip of your tongue. You need to buy something important, but the list is once again left on the table. And you tell yourself, well, it's just age. But somewhere inside, there's a feeling that it's not just forgetfulness. It's as if your internal coherence is slipping away, and the day becomes as foggy as an autumn morning without the sun. Have you ever experienced this? If so, recent studies have shown that our memory, especially in older age, doesn't just fade away on its own. In 80% of cases, its decline is not due to age, but rather to a lack of daily cognitive activity, a specific habit that maintains neural connections. Without it, the brain doesn't age. It loses its tone, much like a muscle that isn't exercised. So why does this happen? The brain is an organ that, much like the heart, needs movement. Not physical movement, but rather mental and emotional engagement that requires attention. Without this, brain cells turn off unnecessary areas. Memory is essentially the connection between these cells. One simple habit can rejuvenate the brain. Blood flow improves, attention hormones are activated, and new connections are formed. But without this, even the sharpest mind can become as crumbly as stale bread. This can lead to dire consequences. When the brain isn't exercised, it's not just memory that suffers. Emotional instability kicks in, anxiety levels rise, and the quality of sleep and even appetite declines. Most importantly, a person loses their sense of stability. They become unsure of themselves, fear forgetting things, avoid new encounters, and feel embarrassed to ask questions. Day by day, their world shrinks to just a room and a single window. But this doesn't have to be permanent. You can not only stop this decline, but also reverse it by reintroducing just one simple habit each day. But wait, don't get discouraged. Celebrate already, because there's good news. You don't need complex techniques, expensive medications, or endless exercises. All you need is one habit that kickstarts your brain in the morning, like a beam of light in a dark forest. Soon, you'll discover what you should do every day to gradually, yet surely, regain your memory. And you might even start noticing changes within a week. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video, and share it with your loved ones. They'll appreciate it. So what is this habit? The first and most effective habit that helps preserve and even restore memory after the age of 60 is daily handwriting, even if it's just a few lines. You might wonder how a simple pencil, notebook, and a few words can make a difference. But this action activates multiple areas of the brain simultaneously, maintaining the connection between the past, present, and future, essentially your memory. Why is this important? When you write by hand, your brain isn't just recording information. It's analyzing, memorizing, selecting words, coordinating finger movements, and keeping track of meaning. This is a powerful form of neurosupport, especially for those experiencing declines in short-term memory. During the act of writing, areas such as Broca's and Wernicke's areas, speech and comprehension, the prefrontal cortex, thinking and attention, the hippocampus, memory formation, and the motor cortex, movement, are all activated. In other words, you're not just writing, you're literally bringing your brain to life. Let us know in the comments if you write by hand. Listen to this truly inspiring story. Mr. Francisco, 81 years old, once went to the doctor with a complaint. I keep forgetting what I wanted to say and often lose my train of thought mid-sentence. He didn't want to take any medication, but was open to trying anything else. The doctor suggested that he write 34 sentences every morning about how he slept, the weather, or any memory that came to mind. At first, Francisco felt a bit silly, but by the second week, he noticed that he was finding words more quickly, recalling names with ease, and even started writing down recipes that he once knew by heart. A month later, he brought his notebook to the doctor. I remembered the name of my first-grade teacher. I didn't think that was possible. So pen and paper became his mental workout. Simple, yet effective. But what if you find it hard to write for a long time? Start small. 3 sentences in the morning. For example, I slept well. It's cloudy today. I talked to my son yesterday. Write down 1 memory a day, not for anyone else, but for yourself. A gratitude list, a to-do list, a list of favorite movies. All of these work. Write slowly, take your time, without the pressure to keep up. What matters is not what you write, but the act of handwriting itself, which creates new neural connections and strengthens existing ones. It's like morning exercise, but for your brain. How can you enhance the effect? A simple handwritten note becomes especially powerful when it transforms from a mechanical task into a conscious, heartfelt ritual integrated into your daily routine. Surprisingly, consistency and rhythm matter more than volume or content. The repetition of dates provides the brain with a sense of stability, which is one of the key factors for maintaining memory resilience in adulthood. Why is that? The human brain, especially in older age, craves stability and rhythm. This helps lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and activates areas responsible for memory, attention, and emotional resilience. Pay close attention. When you write every day at roughly the same time and in the same place, your brain begins to perceive this as a point of reference, an internal anchor. Neural connections strengthen, thinking speed increases, spatial orientation improves, and even mood gets a boost. Because the brain senses there is order, and that means there is safety. Here's an example for you. Ms. Katarina, 76 years old, had kept a journal occasionally for many years. But as she aged, she started experiencing some issues. She forgot appointments, lost her train of thought during conversations, and couldn't remember which medications she had already taken. Her doctor suggested that instead of just writing, she should do it at the same time every day, near a window, with a cup of warm tea. She chose the morning. Every day for 5 minutes. What am I feeling? What stood out to me from yesterday? What do I want to accomplish today? After a month, she began speaking more clearly, writing more neatly, and even recorded memories of her parents while she still could. Most importantly, her fear disappeared. She regained control over her memory. And you can regain control over yours too. You can start jotting down what I'm about to say right now. To make this habit truly beneficial, follow a few simple tips. Time. Write at the same time every day, preferably in the morning or evening. Place. Choose a cozy corner for yourself to give your brain a sense of security. Form. Don't worry about being overly clever, just aim for 35 sentences. Atmosphere. Enjoy a cup of tea, soft lighting, and your favorite pen to make it pleasant. Writing. Use pen and paper instead of your phone. This is important for fine motor skills and activating your brain. Meaning, ask yourself the question, what good thing do I want to remember today? These simple actions turn writing into a slow memory workout that nourishes rather than drains you. But that's not all. Want to know how to further enhance the effect on your brain? Writing by hand is like planting a seed in the ground. But for it to sprout, it needs the right environment. Light, moisture, warmth. The same goes for memory. One habit initiates the process, but it's the combination with other simple actions that yields a lasting, profound result. And these habits don't require strength or money, just your attention and a gentle approach to yourself. Why does this work together? The brain is a living, sensitive organ, much like a child. It needs rhythm, oxygen, water, and rest to recover. When you create a structure of several simple actions that you repeat daily, your brain begins to function more confidently, shifting from anxiety to clarity, and even damaged neural connections can start to heal. This isn't magic, it's neuroplasticity, and it works at any age. Here's how our hero's life has changed. Mr. Michael, 79 years old, has always been active, but as he aged, he began to notice that he would forget why he entered a room and mix up the days. He started keeping a journal, but didn't feel like he was making any progress. His doctor suggested enhancing his routine with 3 simple habits: a short morning walk in the fresh air, a glass of water with lemon right after waking up, and 15 minutes of silence before bed without his phone. After 3 weeks, he felt a lightness in his head, started waking up with clarity, and even began to remember his dreams. He said, "Before, I was just living. Now I feel like my brain is working with me, not against me." Be sure to incorporate these 3 simple yet powerful habits to help yourself. Take a morning walk, or at least air out your room. Movement boosts circulation and fills your brain with oxygen. Even just 10 minutes of brisk walking or stretching at home can make a difference, especially in natural light. Warm water in the morning and between meals. Dehydration slows down all cognitive processes. Add a splash of lemon or honey. Keep a glass of water next to your journal, and both your memory and digestion will thank you. Enjoy some quiet time before bed. No screens, no news, no conversations. Just light, breathing, and maybe a line in your notebook. This gives your brain a chance to wrap up the day and transfer information into long-term memory. If you feel overwhelmed, start with just one thing. Just water. Just silence. Just one paragraph in your journal. It's not a race. It's a journey back. Memory isn't just a function. It's a connection between you and your life. And it rebuilds itself step by step. Let's take a moment to recap. And I want to share something really important. Memory doesn't vanish all at once. It doesn't disappear. It recedes if you don't call for it. Don't feed it with attention. Don't invite it into your day. Don't give it space. But today, you learned that to bring memory back, you don't need pills, you don't need to be afraid, and you don't need to fight. All it takes is one simple habit that, like a beam of light, penetrates deep and gives your brain the support it needs. Write a few lines every day about yourself, about your day, about life. This is not an exercise. It's an act of connection with your body, with your memories, with yourself. Add movement, warm water, and silence before sleep, and you'll create a system where your mind feels at home. Memories will start to return quietly, like an old friend simply sitting down beside you. You might think, it's too late for me. But that's not true. The brain changes at any age. It responds to care even after decades of forgetfulness. You don't need to do a lot. Just do it with intention. 1 glass of water, 1 walk, 1 paragraph in a notebook. Let it be simple, but let it be. Try it tomorrow, in the morning. Take your time. Write down how you slept, what you see out the window, and how you feel right now. This isn't just for memory. It's an invitation to live. Let this become a habit. Let it be the point where clarity begins. Memory returns to where it is awaited. Imagine, you're not afraid of forgetting. You're not losing your thread. You remember why you got up. Your days are filled with details, names, scents, words. You're not living in the past, and not in fear. You're living in the present, where memory is not a burden but a companion. Quiet, reliable, kind. And so you don't lose yourself. On the contrary, you return to yourself.